Well, welcome to meteorological spring, the historically coldest months of the year for Chicago, December, January, and February. So March 1st makes it the first day of meteorological spring. And it's feeling like spring out there. High temperatures today getting well into the 50s for many of us, more than 10 degrees above average, some sun at times too. But if you like wintry weather, you're a fan of winter weather with snow and cold temperatures, we've got good news for you coming by the end of the week, as a matter of fact. I think we're going to see the beginning of the spring make up for what we saw in winter, which was a lack of snowfall. We had about 16 inches of snow, 16.8 as a matter of fact, about 12 inches below average for the entire winter season. That ranks it as the 30th least snowy winter of all time. Of course, you can't get a lot of snow when you're warm, and we had a lot of warm weather throughout December, January, February. As a matter of fact, it ranks now this past winter as the 14th warmest on record, and that's over 150 years. But we've got cold air along with the storm system bringing up some moisture from the south, coinciding with that cold air on Friday, and it's going to have impacts across the area. It looks like that's the main message here. The exact numbers I'm going to share with you, these are going to change for sure. It looks like it's kind of a complicated system. The track of the system will impact it. How much of this starts off in liquid form or even freezing rain before it changes over to snow. So a lot of things influencing the amounts here. Keep that in mind. But the main message is you will be impacted by this. Parts of the area, if not most of the area, might see some very big impacts from this. It looks like the morning commute on Friday, not so much, maybe a little bit of a slipperiness here and there, a few slick spots, but I think more than not, the afternoon, evening commute definitely going to be more affected by this. So watch out for that. So this is the GFS model showing how much snow is expected. Again, this starts Friday morning. This model brings in around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and it keeps the numbers pretty low northwest of the city, which has been kind of the opposite we've seen most of the winter. Only about 0.2 of an inch in Woodstock, half inch in Waukegan, but up to 3 inches along the lakefront, 3 to 4 inches in the city, about a half a foot south of the city. And you're looking about 8 inches to a foot into northern Indiana. Now, our Barron model forecast, it's similar in that it keeps the heaviest snow south and east right now, but it has different numbers for us. We're looking at 1 inch to 1.5 inches across our northwest suburbs. In and around the city, about 8 to 11 inches of snow according to this model. And again, south and southeast of the city are getting onwards of a foot of snow or even more down towards Kankakee. Again, this is not written in stone. These numbers will change, but there is definitely some wet snow, looks like, coming for the end of the week. Now, temperatures over the next several days, kind of a roller coaster ride. I point out the temperatures because if you're looking forward into March, which typically gets about 6 inches of snow, we could be looking at more favorable conditions for snow over the next few days. Not so much in the short term. Once we get through Friday and we get that snowfall, looks like things will warm up over the weekend. We'll melt off a lot of the snow, which is typical of spring snow. We'll see highs well into the 40s, looks like, by Sunday, 50 on Monday. Then it turns colder again for the middle of next week and the end of next week. So that's cold enough that could support some more snow. Looking at the Climate Prediction Center's longer range forecast, a 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and that's looking at near normal conditions. But again, notice, and I talked about this in an earlier blog, that big blob of blue to the north and west. Notice how that expands in the 8 to 14 day outlook. So as we get from March 8th to the 14th, we're looking at almost all the country forecast to be colder than average overall. We are going to be likely below average during this period. And if you extend this on with your experimental 3 to 4 week temperature outlook, this covers a period of March 11th through the 24th. Again, most of the country, at least 90% of it, forecast to be below average overall. We are likely to be below average, looks like, for the end of March. So keep your fingers crossed, all you snow lovers out there. I'm Tim McGill.